Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw. I don't believe what I just saw.
The line down the left field line for a base hit. Here comes Joy. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. The Cubs come pouring out of the dugout, jumping up and down like a bunch of delirious 10-year-olds. The Cubs have done it.
Puckett swings and hits a blast. Deep left center, way back, it's gone. The Twins count in a 7th game. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett. And the Twins have won this game 4-3 on a dramatic home run by Kirby Puckett.
Pop cold one. Baseball time. Hot Takes Corner now dropped person edition. Amish apparently just lost connection as we were going live. So hopefully he'll join us back. Till then, Charm is back for another week.
Yes, I am.
I'm Amos. I'm the guy that cannot throw out a runner with 37 speed. You are very welcome. Charm, I'm going to beat you to that tonight.
I'm telling you, the 37 Speed Podcast.
The 37 Speed Podcast where... What's the saying from last week?
You guide, I'll lead.
you guide, I'll lead. I need to go back and check that because that is literally the official. That should be the official thing for the channel. Yeah, so Amish literally as we were going live dropped, so he should hopefully be back in. Baseball's been very interesting this week as I look over my notes. Charm, how are you, first of all? I mean, I know baseball-wise, how are you? How are you feeling about anything when it comes to baseball?
Baseball itself can do nothing wrong to me. Baseball is my inner sanctum. It is my peace.
Unless they were all Tony La Russa. We can't start that topic until Amish hopefully gets back in here.
I have two different takes on that, but I'll wait until Amish gets back in here.
Right. So it's really hard to say what we should talk about because we were going to lead off with the La Russa thing, the La Russa debacle, depending if you're on the Mercedes side or the wrong side. And, okay, yeah. So Amish said he'll be right back. So let's just talk about, I guess we could just go ahead and talk about something catch your eye this week when it comes to baseball.
Nothing really caught my eye except that this is definitely the year of the pitcher.
The dead ball.
And I don't think it's the dead ball. I honestly think that we've gotten so analytically computer driven. Players don't care about hitting for batting average. They're swinging for the downs, and if they don't get the home run, they don't care if they strike out, and they don't care if they get out.
Right.
Because there's no fundamentals to hitting anymore.
Right, and I think we kind of mentioned that a little bit last week. Sorry, I got a cat on me here. I think we mentioned a little bit about that last week, about these crazy no-hitters, which there were two more last week, which we'll get to here in a few minutes. It's really hard for us to just talk about what we were going to talk about because Amish had a huge role in the topics this week. So we're just going to talk about random stuff, and, we
How are your Giants doing?
in the franchise?
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to fill a gap. So, how are your Giants doing?
Is this going to be a 37-speed joke?
No.
No, I feel you.
Can you talk about them in 37 seconds?
I don't know. I might make an error and throw it into the next stadium. No, it's okay. I mean, it's growing pains. I must say I'm liking it better than when I had the Detroit Tigers when I tried that last year. I don't know what it was. Like, I honestly think, and I know this sounds like a petty thing to say, but I just don't like the way a lot of the stadiums look in the AL Central. Like Comerica, I just don't like it. I don't like the stadium. I don't like looking at it. It's just so boring to me, you know.
It is a very sterile environment.
And so, like, that's part of the reason I was really glad the Giants won, because I'm like, oh, this is a nice ballpark. There's Alma, she's coming back. I was like, that's a beautiful ballpark, you know, and, you know, Coors Field's a beautiful ballpark. Petco Park is nice to look at. I mean, Dodger Stadium's nice to look at.
Even Dodger Stadium with the improvements they made.
Yeah, so, like, it's just, what's up, Ep? You're in here. My Mets minor league squad lost. Oh, I see what you're saying there. But, Lindor still not being able to get it together, I guess, is one thing. But, you hear us okay, Amish?
Yep, I'm here. You hear me?
You are back. We haven't talked about anything important, so.
I gave him 37 seconds to talk about a Giants franchise.
37.
God, that's going to be the new Kurt. That's going to be the new, what was it? That's going to take over the Nationals joke.
The Nationals joke, you said?
Yeah,
because of your prediction?
19 and 34, they're out. So, yeah, so now that Amish is here, let's get into the hotbed, right?
Yeah, let's get into that. And on Monday the 17th, had a little game up here at Target Field between my Twins and the Chicago White Sox. A lot of interesting things happened in the game too, guys, including Nick Madrigal's first Major League home run.
Madrigal?
Yeah, Madrigal, a big second baseman for them.
One of the many talented prospects they have.
But, of course, the big topic of conversation came later in the game. Twins put in their position player, mop-up guy extraordinaire, Williams Astudillo. We know him.
Chubby people can pitch, too.
Yeah. People can also pitch. They can run, and they can also pitch. Well, he did. He got a 3-0 count on Yerman Mercedes. He puts in his 47.1 mile per hour eephus right down the middle of the plate. Now, the controversy is, apparently, according to Tony La Russa, manager of the Chicago White Sox, he gave a take sign for that 3-0 pitch. This is just according to him. We have no other verified information from any other outside sources.
Can't believe we're complaining about
we know of. But anyway, so Mercedes just proceeds to launch this one over the left center field fence and, extends the lead for the White Sox. Now, Amos is on the side of, well, let's just let him explain real briefly what he saw in that play and why La Russa is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to be fair about this. Charm, you have multiple, not angles, but you have multiple answers. I thank you, Amish, for letting me go first, but I'm going to let Charm answer the first one.
So if the third base coach or the first base coach gave the sign to take, and he went into business for himself, that is Mercedes, he is wrong. Because the bottom line is, the managers, the coaches are essentially these players' bosses. If you are instructed to take a pitch, then you take a pitch. However, here's where, and you and I have gone a couple of rounds about this in the last week.
No.
Everything after that play that La Russa did, because La Russa's been around this game longer than probably the three of us have been alive, or close to it. Everything La Russa did after the game was wrong. Should have been handled in the locker room. Should have never been talked about in the media. He certainly shouldn't have said he was okay with the Twins hitting or potentially hitting Mercedes. And I do not agree with the way La Russa handled it at all. he is the quote unquote from an experience standpoint, he is the adult in this situation, and yet he's acting like a petulant child that got his toy broken. But if the third base coach gave him a signal to take, his job is to take. That's his job. Point blank. Period. Any other take, you should just fire all the managers, all the coaches, and the players should just run their own team.
No.
Maybe that's where the real controversy kind of arises there too, guys. What do you think about that? The fact that this is Major League Baseball, this is professional sports. We're not in the amateur leagues, we're not in the minor leagues even trying to make a show. We're in the show. I don't know. Food for thought. Amos, what are your takes?
Okay, so here's why I completely disagree with that whole thing. Number one, you're looking at the situation. You're already up, what was it, 10-1 at that point in time? Or maybe it was more 13-1. I don't remember what the score was. I just know it was already it was already a blowout. Sorry, Amish. I know this is bringing up bad memories. It was already a blowout. Who cares? It's a position player on the mound. But, even though pitching stats don't matter to a position player pitching, despite Anthony Rizzo having the best ERA for position players this year, whoop whoop, guess where it does matter? The person hitting. Mercedes is still got a job to do. And I would get it that if it was bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, White Sox are down by 3 runs, and he's up at the plate facing an actual closer, I would understand being on Tony La Russa's side. But this is a blowout game. You have a guy that's throwing epheses at a whopping 47 miles per hour up there. His stats don't count. Yours do. You have a job to do, and Mercedes did his job.
And that's the funny part of it. On one hand, you've got, this side that says Tony La Russa has a job to do to tell his team what to do because he's the frickin' manager, as Jim Leyland famously said.
Yeah, and that's fine. I get that. But once again...
your point, let me finish. Your point of
Sorry.
view is that your man Mercedes has a job that he needs to perform. He needs to get statistics. He needs to up his, next contract cycle. Which is more valuable at this time? Should we just say screw all managers?
No.
At this point in baseball? No. We shouldn't say that, right?
No, absolutely not.
So ultimately, in the end, is it more important, you guys think, that a player plays and performs like Mercedes does here, or is it more important that, and it isn't important, like Amos says, it's a 10-run ball game. Why does the manager's importance come into play here?
Let me throw this out.
Let me answer that, maybe.
Let me throw this out there, and I forget what player it was, and it wasn't in a blowout, but let's say Mercedes hits his home run. He's rounding the bases. He jumps up in the air at home plate, lands on home plate, and fractures his leg.
Oh, that was Kendrys Morales.
There you go. Let's say he hurts himself rounding the bases. Then how bad does he look if he ignored the sign from his coaches? Which you and I were talking about this just before the podcast. It's funny that nobody's confirmed from the coaches whether that sign was given or not.
That was a fantastic point. I would like to know from other sources than Tony La Russa, and why aren't we hearing that?
All right, so before we continue on the conversation, Nick says in chat, by the way,
Great.
he put three different things, so I'm going to read them back to back here. He says if he ignored, I'm guessing he means Mercedes. If Mercedes ignored the sign, he is wrong. If he missed Tony La Russa, if he missed it, then Tony La Russa needs to get over it. So what he's saying that is, if Mercedes
a mistake could have been made. Okay.
made a mistake, then TLR needs to get over it. Tony La Russa was completely wrong on how he handled it. I think we're all kind of in agreement there. The second thing he said was, I also see this as a change of eras. Welcome to the Fun League, which that's kind of been a theme that people
And
have
that's
been
what I
throwing
wrote
around.
down too. Charm brought up that point. La Russa has been around a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Has the game passed guys like him and Dusty Baker by?
Yes. Yes.
I would have to say yeah.
And the third thing he said was once a position player goes in, all bets are off, and it's a free-for-all. And that's the thing, though. Like, that's what I agree. I think it's safe to say that Williams Ostadia's new contract isn't going to depend on how he pitched.
How he pitches, right.
You know, it's going to depend on how he hits, how he plays defense, you know, and I guess in a way how much he gets hurt. But what if Mercedes... Let's play the other way around here. What if Mercedes didn't swing at the pitch, took it for a strike or a ball, whatever. He swung at the next pitch, and then he, you know, if you're going to use the excuse of what if he hurt himself rounding the bases, then what if he hit the second pitch and then he beamed the guy on third base and hurt him? You know, the thing is it didn't happen, but if it was, like I said, I would agree with you 100% if the situation was a little more dire. If it was an actual pitcher on the mound, I get it. But it's a position player. It's a blowout game. You're there. Your stats matter no matter what the score is. But a position player pitching, your stats kind of don't really matter.
I guess the concern we're looking at here, Amos,
Yeah.
from what I'm hearing and seeing and observing, is managers and control over their teams. Is this something in the future, you know, that's going to start to become more and more of a problem because we've got a presence of social media now and instant internet, you know, coverage? You know, Tony La Russa can't deal with that kind of stuff. You know, that's the kind of stuff that's passed him by, in my opinion.
Look, like I said, and I don't mean it, everything that La Russa did after that, you know, not defending his player, saying about Lance Lynn, this is why I have a office and he has a locker. All that was stupid. He was acting childish. My whole point is, and I'll stand by this. Yeah. If he was given the sign, and I still say if because we don't know. If he was given the sign and he ignored it, he was wrong. If he was given the sign and he missed it, then La Russa should have handled it, and all of it should have been handled in the house. There was no reason to talk about it in the media.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know, a question I want to pose, and I really don't know the answer to this question. Maybe somebody does, but how many times have we seen runners ignore the third base coach?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, how serious does that get? You know, I honestly don't think there's going to be a rebellion of players that's just like, oh, if Mercedes ignored La Russa, then I'm going to ignore. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. If Fernando Tatis, you know, ignores the manager, that was a concern I had last year.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't see what the big deal is in a way. Like I said, if it was a 1-0 game and he was the last man up, yeah, you might want to pay attention. You know, I get that. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. But like I said, blowout game, position player on the mound. I mean, it goes back to the whole thing that the Rangers complained about. You know, when they got mad at Tatis for swinging and hitting a grand slam in a blowout game. If you don't want something to happen, don't put yourself in a position for it to happen.
Yep.
You know,
you alluded to it, Amish. The bottom line is you got an old school manager in a little bit of a new school game. But let's be honest, if take La Russa out of the situation, say it was Davey Johnson or Earl Weaver or Sparky Anderson or drawing a total blank on the Twins manager from their 2 World Series.
Tom Kelly.
Tom Kelly. You don't think they would have You don't think they would have had the same reaction to, oh, he ignored the sign?
Yeah. Right.
So, is it fair for me to say that that's very true, by the way? But is it fair to me to say though that things are a little different when it comes to player representation than what it was back then? Like
that's a good point too.
If they want to blackball Yermán Mercedes for either ignoring or missing a sign, he's still talented enough to where if he gets blackballed by the White Sox, another team's going to go get him.
So where's my button? Hot take of the night so far.
You know, I haven't come up with a sound effect yet. But Aruga, there we go. But which, by the way, next week I'm hoping to have the official motto at the top of the screen that Charm made. So that's gonna be a shirt. But no, it's I get both sides of it. Like the general idea of ignoring your boss, so to speak. Yes. No, I get that. Like if it keeps happening, like if Mercedes keeps ignoring, then yes, it's a problem. But in that situation, I just didn't get, he was just crying about it. Like, players are here. I think it's safe to say that you have to be kind of, no matter your age, if you want to manage, you kind of have to be on the same side as your players and not your personal baseball beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, players seem to do better when they are themselves. Like Tatis, if they told Tatis, all right, I want you to go up there and this game, and I don't want you to swing at the first 2 pitches, no matter what, and he doesn't do it, then he strikes out 4 times. He's gonna feel a little, not betrayed, but he's gonna be questioning whether that's a good idea or not. But instead, it's just like, okay, you go up there, take the first pitch, you decided what you want to do on the second pitch. I'm just throwing an example out there. I don't know if obviously that's how it works, but I'm just throwing something out there. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't, me personally, I get why there are hitting coaches, but I don't like the fact that players just can't go up there and roughly decide for themselves,
Well, I think that also depends on the maturity of the player,
absolutely.
When it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and I look forward to future incidences like this where you have a manager saying, I didn't tell him to do that, we got to respect that team, whatever that is. Don't respect my Twins right now, by the way. They're god awful. We'll talk more about that as we run down the divisions here in just a little bit.
So Nick put one more thing, and I want you guys to respond to this question, or it's not really a question, but it's a statement. I think it's kind of not true, but I want to hear you guys take on it. He says,
I'll give Charm first take on it. What do you say?
Yeah, Charm, you're first. Ready? And I quote, "In the end, it looks like TLR, Tony La Russa, lost that clubhouse even if the news hasn't come out. Hard to play for a guy that throws you under the bus for all the quote-unquote unwritten rules." So, that's what he was saying.
Oh, to me, I don't think he lost the clubhouse completely until he made the comment about Lance Lynn. To me, he was standing at the edge of the plank. And he just jumped off of it when he made the comment about Lance Lynn. This is why I have an office and he has a locker. I mean, 20 years from now, Lance Lynn may have an office. And you'll probably be like...
Yeah, and 20 years from now, the game's going to be played differently than it is now.
That's true. The mound's going to be back 5 feet. There's going to be 7 innings.
Runners are going to have those experimental things. That was an interesting thing Amos posted. We'll maybe get to that as well. But let's move on. To our next topic, and that is the big game coming up for longtime Major League umpire Joe West, known as the singing umpire Cowboy Joe West. He'll be umpiring his 5,371st game tomorrow night in Chicago as the White Sox host the Cardinals. And then on Tuesday night, he is scheduled to break Bill Clem's all-time record by umpiring his 5,372nd regular season game. What do you guys think? Give me some takes.
Well done.
Well done. Will never be broken.
God, I know umpires.
Said it when Clem did it.
I know umpires get such a bad rep these days that some of them do deserve it, and in a way, Joe West is kind of in that category. But this is such a good feat, man. Like it really just shows you kind of how inhuman he is and how hard it is to be an umpire. Like how many umpires are going that long?
Yeah. We've gone 79 years since Bill Clem broke that record initially.
Good Lord, I just.
Almost reminds me of when Cal passed Luke Garrigan away.
Wow, yeah.
I just don't. I mean, that's amazing. That's so good for him. And I hope he gets all the attention he deserves. Like, I hope Twitter blows up about it. I hope social media blows up about it. Because all this crap that umpires are getting this year, whether it's deserved or not, this should be celebrated,
Yeah, indeed. They do get a lot of crap. We'll keep looking at umpire auditor all year. I guarantee you. Love that.
Such a good Twitter page to follow, by the way. That's a really good one.
I gotta get that guys after the show because I don't follow that one.
Oh yeah, check it out. All right, let's move to the next one, and we'll incorporate our divisions here, guys, as we look at injuries and just everything going on in the league. Should we start American or National League?
Talk about Angel Hernandez. Well, it's a 2-1 vote here, so I'm assuming American League is first.
All right, so Charm can talk about Baltimore. Please don't take more than an hour. Go.
Well, I sort of said it.
You have 37 seconds.
All I can say about the Orioles is it's like a relationship gone bad. It started out promising and went downhill fast.
I didn't realize they dropped off like they did.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that somebody said I think they said they were 15-16 at one point. Now they're 17-29. That's how bad it's been. And we have
last place again.
Yep, last place again. I said it on Twitter earlier. At what point I realized they're a rebuilding team, but at what point do you start to question Brandon Hyde's decision making?
Okay. Oh, well, what are your thoughts on that? Have any to share? Or?
Well, no disrespect to Brandon Hyde, but I wanted them to give the keys entirely to Buck. I wanted Buck to have whatever he wanted. I didn't want to see Buck leave.
You don't think Buck blew his chance when he went with Ubaldo Jimenez in that playoff game?
I will always question that decision, but I would have if Buck wanted to be general manager and manager, give it to him.
And then, we kind of knew Machado then was going to be the big, key piece to look at as the next couple seasons after that, right? Before they had to give him up to the Dodgers.
Yep. And we didn't get anything back. We didn't get anything back.
So, I mean,
but
it's just, it's sad. It's a shame, really. How about those other teams? Sorry, go ahead.
You can never count out the Rays. I'm still shocked that they didn't call up Wander after they traded Willie.
Hottest team in baseball.
Who was this guy? He got a hit too already, didn't he?
Taylor Walls, number 7 prospect.
Yeah, I was so disappointed when Amish said that. I was like, because obviously I have a vested interest with the Diamonds on my fantasy team, but I was so disappointed. Honestly, I like the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays end up taking it, despite their bullpen issues.
Currently, just 4.5 back. Very tight race. The top of the division here. Yankees, Rays, and Red Sox there. Red Sox staying power. Amos, what do you think of the staying power of the Red Sox?
Man, I'm surprised. I don't think they're going to hold to it much longer. Tampa Bay's right there. They've won 10 games in a row. They're not slowing down. They have prospects that could come up and fill holes if somebody gets hurt. I guess it depends on what Boston does at the deadline. I think it's really interesting. I think Boston's in my top 3 teams to watch at the deadline, especially if they stay competitive. But, man, you got to love the Rays, and they're the hottest team in baseball. They've won 10 games in a row. They've got the second highest run differential in the AL East, and they just don't look like they're slowing down. And you think after losing Blake Snell, which I know, Charm, we make jokes all the time about how he can't pitch, but they really honestly look like they haven't really missed a beat,
Wouldn't it be ironic if the Red Sox traded and got Craig Kimbrell back from the Cubs?
Oh, Lord. Talk about full circle.
Well, I tell you, I got Matt Barnes as my closer on my team, and I bite my nails now every time he's up to the mouth. The guy's loading the bases and say, "Oh God!"
But yeah, I don't know what to think about the Red Sox. I really don't. I mean, 29-19, yeah, they're great, but we obviously they have more staying power than the Royals did, but I just don't see them outplaying Tampa Bay.
Now, I said this to you guys before the show.
Yeah.
If the Nationals stay in last place, Max Scherzer in pinstripes.
Okay. We can wait and see on that. That would be interesting. Anything that's going to be happening to the Yankees will be interesting. And we probably should briefly touch on the fact that Aaron Hicks is on the injured list. Clint Frazier is on the
Again?
injured list. Brett Gardner has been seeing a lot of playing time. Is he going to be able to, continue very much longer?
I think the Yankees are going to go out and get an outfielder. I don't know who. I don't know what team, but they can't stick with Brett Gardner. They just can't.
Char, what do you think?
As much as, look, Brett Gardner is my personal kryptonite, and it'll be the show. Every year he kicks my butt every time I play the Yankees. I respect the heck out of him. He's a good, hard-nosed ball player, but for what the Yankees expect to do every year, Brett Gardner can't be your key outfielder. So they do that. I jokingly said, and I'm not picking on him, I jokingly said to Amos, what about Jason Hayward to the Yankees?
Jason Hayward. Played the center field pretty well, that's for sure.
I don't see the Cubs trading Hayward. I would see Jock Peterson more than Hayward.
Yeah. Yankees are going to take on the salary for one, even though they are the Yankees.
I think I don't know if this is the wrong division to talk to this about, Amish. I don't know if you heard this or not.
Okay.
Either of you guys have heard this, but I've heard that the Rays could be buyers. And if they're buyers, one of the guys they're looking at is Nelson Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Nelson Cruz playing DH? Because G-Man Choi is just not doing it.
Right.
But can you imagine Nelson Cruz at DH for the Rays?
Poor Nelson Cruz at the end of his career not playing in front of any fans.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. I'll tell you, man. We talked about it. We beat that dead horse a long time ago. But if you live in Tampa Bay, or if you live near the Rays and you don't go to their games, shame on you. Like this team is doing everything they can to compete, and they're still like, oh, we got 5,000 people here tonight. Good game. We've done
a secret club, right?
Won 10 games in a row. We got 4,500 here. But no, I don't know. Like I think look at the Rays and what they're doing. They just acquired Fireheisen from the Brewers for Willie Adames now going to the Brewers in that deal, and it makes you wonder: are they freeing up a spot to where they could go get someone like Nelson Cruz?
Well, it's funny you say that because I saw a tweet from Luke, who's a diehard Rays fan, and he pointed out that the Rays have the fewest innings pitched from their starting rotation in the league again this year.
Yeah.
So they're burning through that. They're burning out that bullpen.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, they've got a very interesting team, as Amos mentioned, just hotter than heck right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Yankees, what are they going to do? That's what we want to know. I'm going to move on. Central Division, the Chicago White Sox are now 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. My Twins managed to salvage a little bit from that series. Jose Abreu has been out, injured for the series there. Just watched the Twins Cleveland Day. The Twins get a 3-run home run from Kyle Garlick in extra innings. Their first extra innings victory in 9 tries. Biting my nails all year long. And the Twins now 9.5 back. 1 game behind Detroit. Kansas City is still holding at 4 games back. The Indians are still a game and a half from first, but they're kind of floundering guys, I think, especially their hitting lineup. What do you think?
Well, to go full circle with the White Sox, with what we were talking about before, if La Russa truly has lost the locker room and he gets fired, I could see Harold Baines replacing him.
Ooh, nice.
Harold Baines, shout out to that. Mark that note here. That's the hot take right there. That's the nice prediction right there.
Amos, any thoughts?
Okay, so I guess the first thing that comes to mind with the Central is they're the second most disappointing division in baseball right now. With all due respect, your Twins have been pooping the bed pretty hard when they shouldn't be. Kansas City's,
give them hell, man.
Kansas City's been pooping the bed. Cleveland does not deserve to be in second place. And it blows my mind that a team that's getting no hit twice is in second place. The White Sox are the only team with a positive run differential. It's not even close either. A positive 64, which is great. Minnesota's in dead last. They've scored over 200 runs. This division is cracked up. This is the NL Central, except in the AL. You know.
Well, Amos, there is one thing that we have to point out.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about it several times. I'm pretty sure if we go back 2 weeks to when we were all praising the Kansas City Royals, I think they've since we've been praised them, I think they've won 2 games?
We jinxed them.
And been many, that's for sure.
We jinxed him. You're right. He's right. We did jinx the Royals because as soon as we talked about the Royals, they won 1 time in the next 10 games?
Yep.
Like,
sorry, crazy coach.
look, I'm not saying it's Charm's fault, but it's totally Charm's fault.
All right. We'll review the tapes and find out. Okay.
No, we don't need to
Amos,
look at the tape. Delete.
The American League West is yours to talk about, Amos. Where do you want to start there?
Well, this is tough because I haven't really been paying attention to the West that much. There hasn't been anything interesting in the West, in a good light anyway, besides Ohtani, and that's it. But you look at the things, the way that the West is right now is, you know the saying, it's like how the West was won. It's how the West, is going to be less crappy. Because you got the Angels in dead last at 20 and 27, behind the 2 teams, being the Texas Rangers, being the Seattle Mariners, that have both been no-hit twice, and they're still better than the Angels. And they have nobody.
Ow.
Nobody. I'm sorry, if you're a Rangers fan, if you're a Mariners fan, you have nobody on your team right now. You have Shohei Ohtani. Heads should be borderline rolling in LA right now. You've got one of the most experienced managers.
Is it the pitching? Let's look at the pitching. How do they rate pitching wise, guys? That's what I kind of want to know at this point.
Well, I think me and Amos talked about this last week. They pretty much have nobody outside of Trout.
No, they've got plenty outside of Trout. It's the pitching. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the pitching. That's just what I think. I mean, continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just saying. I took the hot take last week. I said, because when we were talking about Pujols, I said there's no way Trout finishes out his contract with the Angels.
All right.
And I got to thinking about this when you said that. I was like, what if Trout is slowly being pushed out by Ohtani? Like, Ohtani's going to take his place as the best player in baseball.
All right.
And then,
interesting.
If you are out of it, let's say 2 years from now you're still out of it, there's really no reason to keep Trout. You have Ohtani. So where does he go? Yeah, so I mean...
Well, I personally think Ronald Acuna Jr. has already taken that spot from Trout. I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is the best player in baseball right now.
I agree.
It's hard to argue that. I'm still going Ohtani right now. I've got to go Ohtani. I know him and Acuna.
Right?
I know him and Acuna are trading back and forth in home runs, which is nice.
Well, he can pitch.
But you've got to. You can't ignore the pitching. You just can't. I mean, I know that's very unfair to Acuna, but it's just how it is. That just leads more. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
So then let me ask you a question.
Praise, I guess. Yeah.
And I know this is going to open up. This could open up a whole other discussion. How come nobody ever talks about how good of a pitcher Babe Ruth was?
Okay.
I'm going to assume. I don't have an answer for that. But
when the discussion for the greatest player of all time comes up, nobody ever talks about the fact that Ruth was a two-way player. That Ruth still holds the record today for the most scoreless innings in a World Series.
Well, that's why they're talking about Ohtani now in his pitching. How he's one of the top AL pitchers in ERA. That's what I'm looking for right now to see where he's at.
Right.
That is.
But that's a valid question. I would say it's also part of the whole everything in sports argument. Offense is way more exciting than defense to people in general in sports.
And there's nobody alive today that saw Ruth play. So
yeah, right. And there was that too.
I'm looking for Ohtani right now, but that's the thing though. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about it. They're acknowledging the fact he's hitting, that he's He's either tied or he's behind Acuna now in home runs. But
And he's only missed one game so far, I thought I saw.
yeah, and I question how long he can keep us up, which is always going to be a
Right.
question. But
Well, it's funny you bring that up because on the fantasy baseball podcast I listen to every day, they brought up a good point on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday. His velocity on his fastball to start the year was about 96. His last two starts, his average fastball has been about 91. So,
Okay.
is he starting to tire?
Or pulling back, maybe a little bit too. Who knows? Interesting.
for all we know, he's playing hurt.
Yeah, probably playing hurt, right?
Man, I don't even see him. I'm trying to find him, but I can't even find him on the statistics page here.
Has he pitched enough innings to qualify for the ER title? He may not be listed.
He may not qualify. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But then again, I'm just like, how does he not qualify? He's got wins. He's got
Right.
strikeouts. He's got to qualify an ERA, right?
I thought he mostly stayed consistent in the rotation, maybe missing one or two starts, but
Let me do this.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe that's why. Because I know there's a minimum
Sure.
amount of innings you have to.
Am I just missing something?
I don't know. Maybe we better just move on to the National League. If you find something, you can just tell us, Amos.
I'm so confused. Okay, here he is.
Oh, here you go. Okay.
What the hell, man? Now I gotta switch it back to American League. No, I'm gonna go to MLB. Let's go all out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh hell no, I can't do that because it's gonna consider position players. All right, I'll just get back to this later.
Okay. Fair
Well,
enough.
he doesn't qualify.
Charm, or serving up the next pitch to you. It's the National League East.
Well, thanks to getting mad and punching a bench, which I never.
What the hell, anyway, Huascar Noah? Why?
Where was the coach giving him a sign there?
And the fact that I don't think Soroka is going to pitch at all this year. I still think it's the Braves' division to win, but they need to acquire some pitching.
Starter, number one priority. I'd have to agree.
Yep. They have too much talent on that team to not win the division. Because the Mets are in first place, but they're not. And the Mets are in first place, but they did lose Pete Alonso on the injured list.
4-6 in their last 10. Jeff McNeil also recently injured.
Lindor is, well, I can let you speak to Lindor since he's on your fantasy. Lindor is just falling off the map a little bit.
Yeah, we got Epp in chat. He'll say something.
Ep, tell us all about the Mets woes, I'll tell you.
But I still say as long as they go out and acquire a starter. I know the man with the mic asked me if John Means was available. I told him sure for Acuna. But
God, Atlanta would burn down again.
Right.
I still say it's their division to win. Too much talent on that team.
Phillies are an interesting team to me, hanging 1.5 games back. Do you guys think their pitching, especially their starting, has turned a little bit of a corner?
Without looking at stats, no. I don't think anybody on this team's turned a corner. You know,
It's almost like status quo from last year.
that's
or
exactly what I was
19.
fixing to say. It sounds like just status quo.
Yeah. I don't get the Phillies. I still don't get them after 2 years.
I think Joe Girardi needs to leave the Phillies and go to the White Sox.
Oh hell!
Trade La Russa for Girardi. There you go.
What a weird trade that would be. No, I think the craziest thing about the NL East, and I just noticed this looking at these teams over, none of these teams have a winning record against teams over 500.
Okay.
The closest is, ironically, the Phillies, that are 14 and 15. Hope I have that correct. But the Mets are 2 and 10. Atlanta's 9 and 12. Phillies are 14 and 15. Miami's 11 and 16, and the Nationals are 8 and 13 against teams over 500. And a lot of these guys have played, I think, interleague games this year. So
Yeah.
Apparently, the Mets are down 16 players. I've been told in chat.
Good Lord.
But outside of Ronald Acuna, let's talk about the most exciting player in the division.
Pablo Lopez.
I affectionately call him Jazzy Smurf because of the blue hair.
Jazzy Smurf.
The Marlins, man, I tell you, their starting pitching, if it can evolve this quickly, they are going to be scary.
Not to honk my horn, but what did I say going into the season this year?
You did.
Which pitching staff did I say to watch out for?
Marlins. You said it.
Marlins.
I remember.
You said the Baltimore Orioles. No, I'm just
I called the John Means no-hitter. Oh, I have a cat here. Hi, cat. I'm trying to pull up the Marlins stuff right now, just to back up your claim here of what this Marlins staff is doing.
Yeah, let's check it out if you can.
Okay, hold on. I got a cat here. Cat, you want to say hi, Binks. There we go.
The cat is interested.
There seems to be. It's not Bonnie, though. We used to have a thing for Bonnie. Now this is Binks. This is Cat 2.0. All right, Cat 2.0. I need to go over there. All right.
Bonnie and no pie?
Bonnie is eating. Because she's fat and she needs food. Anyway, so when I went to MLB Stats to look at the pitching staff, they only pulled up 3 players, so I don't know why it pulled up only 3. I have it under qualified, and I know they have more than 3 pitchers. But anyway, Trevor Rogers looking real good this season. I don't think a lot of people are talking about him. 6-2, 1.74 ERA, 51 innings pitched, 35 hits, only giving up 11 runs. Excuse me. 3 homers, 65 strikeouts, a whip just over 1. Pablo Lopez, a guy that I just cannot beat in the show. Now, his win-loss is 1.3, 2.7 ERA, so a little rough there. He struck out 54 in 56 innings. And then you've got Sandy Alcantara, who's 2-3 with a 3.6, 60 strikeouts in 57 innings, only giving up 6 home runs.
And by the way, you got Sixto Sanchez that's going to be coming off the DL in about, 2 weeks?
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's big.
God, I'm going to have flashbacks. Don't say that name. No, I'm trying to get I don't know why.
Another name, guys, to keep an eye on. This is for you, Charm. Cody Petit. Check this guy out in his game started.
Cody
Why do you say for me?
Because you need some wins in your fantasy.
Oh. Yeah. Although, since we're talking about the Mets, another person to watch out for is Noah Syndergaard could be back by the first week of June.
Good report, yeah. That's good. The Mets,
yep.
We hope for them, anyway.
Just got to stay healthy. But yeah, going back to the NL East, it's just... What are we thinking here? You know, we're about to hit June. Probably still way too early to say who's buyers and sellers. But you know, I know, Charm, that you think that Scherzer could get traded, and you're not the only one to say that for sure. It's just, I'm gonna sound really dumb here and ask the question: would it be worth it though? Like, I know Max Scherzer's still good, but he's definitely past his prime.
Well, that's the thing. I think he gets traded as a rental player, but I think he re-signs with the Nationals in the offseason.
To retire with them, maybe, or something. Yeah, maybe.
He's definitely an intense player. I don't know what to make of this division. Only one team over 500 being the Mets, and
yeah, right.
It's the Braves.
Braves getting a starter could just be.
I would give the Braves. Okay, I'm going to give the Braves an excuse. All right.
Okay.
And it's just something simple. Injuries have just hurt them. They don't have Soroka. Max Fried's been hurt a little bit. Husker Ynoa had to go be an idiot and break a stupid hand. You know.
Right after I picked them up on fantasy, by the way.
Yeah. Way to go, Charm. But, like, I'm willing to give them the slide of injuries, whether it's intentional or just bad luck. You know, I get that. Not to mention, you know, they've got a rookie catcher in William Contreras that's been up. Wilson Contreras' brother, of course. And, he's still learning his way. It looks like Austin Riley's starting to hit. So that's nice. We already know Acuna can hit. Marcell Ozuna's still being, Marcell Ozuna. Dansby Swanson's connecting a lot more. It's connecting really good on offense, Yeah. But if you don't have a rotation, it kind of doesn't matter how good your offense is. So,
you're not going to beat every team 20-1.
Yeah. God, shout out to the Pirates. But yeah, but these other teams, Miami, no one expect them to finish over 500. So let's just throw them out of the equation for now. The Phillies are the most disappointing team in this division, easily.
Should be, but to me, honestly, they're not.
Oh, really? You don't think so?
Yeah. I tell you, it's been the hardest thing for me ever since Bryce Harper signed with them to understand where they are going and what they are doing. I mean, yeah, I understand, the numbers they're trying to put up offensively, but the pitching, I scratch my head every single day. I look at that. What are they thinking?
Amish, I truly believe this. I believe Bryce Harper signed with Philly because he wanted to play with Mike Trout, and he honestly believed that Trout was going to follow him to
Going to end up there?
Yep. I honestly thought that because he knew that Trout is a Philadelphia sports fan, admittedly, from his youth, I honestly think that he thought, if I sign here, Trout will sign here because they want to play with me.
Win titles, yeah.
And
we'll be the DiMaggio and Mantle.
That didn't happen. Obviously.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see how the NL East checks out.
Yeah, let's move on then, Amos. Your Cubs tonight. What's the score right now? By the way,
it is 0-0 on the bottom of the ninth.
Ooh.
Adam Wainwright. I'm trying to find the tweet that put out. He broke some kind of record tonight, actually.
Oh, all right.
Or something that hasn't been done since I believe it said 1920, and I think he's the first pitcher his age to go 8+ innings. I'm trying to find it right now, but it was such an interesting stat, and it's a good note just to add to Adam Wainwright's.
It's 31 called strikes, the most for any major league pitcher in any game this year.
Well, that too. That was the one I saw, but yeah, that's because the strike zone's been freaking butt backwards.
Of course, our gal Sarah Lang says it, Amos.
Yeah, she's good. Sarah Lang.
39 years, 266 days old. He's the oldest Cardinals pitcher since at least 1901 to go 8+ innings and allow 1 hit or fewer in a game.
That's it. And, not to mention he's 5th on all time with him and Yachty catching as a battery. Or Cardinals all time, I believe, is what that was said. But, yeah, I think the division's going exactly how people thought it would go. I don't think there's really not much to say properly about the Central. A lot of people were picking the Cardinals to win it. And I'll be honest, even as a Cubs fan, the Cardinals should win it this year based on their new acquired talent, the youngsters they got up, the fact that Adam Wainwright is still Adam Wainwright. That's a big piece that's working for him. Yeah, I just, once Goldschmidt gets back into it again, which he will, it's going to take time, I'm sure, but he's going to start swinging the bat good again. This Cardinals team's going to be good. They've got power, they've got speed, they've got great defense, as Harrison Bader showed yesterday. The bullpen looked good. When Miles Michaelis, who's once again on the IL with a forearm strain, I feel bad for that guy. But, once he came out of the game, the bullpen came in and just picked up right where he left off, in a way. Ponce de Leon looked good. Gallegos looked good. There should be no reason that the Cardinals don't win the Central this year. And I'm a Cubs fan saying that. I love my Cubs, but the rotation, everyone in that rotation is a question mark. Everyone. Everybody. Like, we're seeing it with Zach Davies. We've seen it with Trevor Williams over the last 2 starts. Jake Arrieta has looked good, even though his numbers don't reflect that. Kyle Hendricks was shaky during the start of the year. He's looking better. And Albert Alzolay has probably made the biggest positive step this season, despite getting the loss last night. He pitched really well. Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Boy.
What's happened to them? They look pretty good come early May. Even they were pretty good. Now they just kind of slipped. They were 4-6 in their last 10.
I'll be honest. I don't know what's wrong with Milwaukee. I don't know if they've just really been missing Yelich that much, or
what happened to them is Brandon Woodruff's become Jacob deGrom 2.0 because ever since Christian Yelich got hurt, they don't give him any run support at all. Like that offense. Support.
Which is why they went for Adames in the trade, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
To try to get some spark.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they definitely have more than enough bullpen pieces to trade for him, so I guess fire high's going to be the week.
While we're on the topic of the NL Central, the one thing that every Pittsburgh Pirates fan was excited about was the idea they were going to take one of these two Vanderbilt pitchers.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
I don't know.
If you go back to May 13th, Peter Gammons, and I thought specifically Nutsy, I thought Nutsy was going to have a heart attack. He said that he says consensus now is that Louisville catcher Henry Davis will go number 1.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many Pittsburgh Pirates fans I've seen go completely nuts. The poor guy hasn't even been drafted yet, and they're saying the Pirates are going to blow this pick.
That's great. But they could be right. I mean, catching these days is a pretty hot commodity.
Hey, I understand them. I mean, I hear all this talk about how Bobby Witt's ready to come up for the Royals, and Wander for the. I haven't heard a word about Adley, and it scares the hell out of me that he's going to turn into another Chris Wieters.
Sure.
And not live up to the potential.
So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's just his metrics behind the plate that they just need to see from him. I don't know. Yeah. Keep listening to the scouting reports. I'll be interested. Pass it along to us. This Adley Rutschman. Yeah, great guy to watch.
Yeah.
Anything else about the Central area, Amos? I don't want to talk about the Pirates or the Reds. They just bore me.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there about the Pirates and the draft pick.
No, you're good.
Interesting.
The Reds, I still like watching the Reds play. It's a shame they can't hit the ball worth a damn besides Nick Castellanos.
Castellanos is hot.
He's the reason that the Reds are relevant in anything. I don't know if you guys saw that video where he gave the microphone to that fan.
No.
Oh my Lord, how have you people not seen this? This is so funny. This was all over Twitter. I need to find it so I can retweet it. But I think he was just having an interview after the game because he was the player of the game. And I don't remember which game it was. I know it happened last week. And he gave the headset to a fan that was standing on the other side of the little plexiglass. And then
no, I did see this.
Yeah, and the fan said the anchor asked the fan the question, and he goes, well, I think what Nick did was, he imagined that Rob Manfred's face was on the baseball, and he just hit it out of the park, and Castellanos just standing there with a cool look on his face, like this. I mean, it was so funny. I'm
He's
surprised.
You can't get mad at me. I didn't say it.
I'm surprised he didn't get suspended. He looked like he had a slight little look of, oh God, I didn't expect him to say that kind of look on his face.
But his teeth just a little bit. You can see that. Yeah. That was great though. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. That was great. Oh, guys, the National League West. Padres are on fire. Dodgers now, what are they, 10-1 in their last 11 or something? This is insane what's going on with the Padres and Dodgers right now, and the Giants just starting to look in the rearview mirror.
Forget the Dodgers and Padres, man. It's all about the Giants, baby. 28-19.
That's insane that they're still 28-19, though. Yeah.
14-7 at home.
And they're powered by Kevin Gausman.
Yeah. A guy that I'm sure is going to be traded at the deadline.
Which, as an Orioles fan, breaks my heart. But I did sell
watch out for those Rockies. Oh, sorry, what?
Nothing. I was just joking with saying I did sell Kevin Gausman a PlayStation.
Oh, sell him a PlayStation. I did see the Rockies are pretty darn good on the Coors Field turf, but they only have 2 wins away from the ballpark. That's crazy.
I just, you want to talk about a team that's going nowhere fast. It's more like a Rocky Mountain low for this team for a long time. I mean, Which that doesn't surprise us. I think the real question is...
How soon does Trevor Story get traded?
Exactly. That's what I was just fixing to say.
So, question for you. You brought up Trevor Story. You got the 4 big shortstops. You got
your Story.
You got Story. You got Seeger. You got Lindor, and not Lindor. Not Lindor. You got Seeger. Who is it? It's Correa. Seeger. Correa, Seeger.
Correa.
I forget who the 4th one is. The 4 big free agent shortstops.
Baez.
Okay. Yeah.
Baez.
Where do they end up? Baez. There you are. Where do you think they end up next year?
Story, Seeger, Correa, Baez. Okay, let me think.
Well, Correa, I think, will stay in Houston.
I don't. Not after the way he said their offer was disrespectful.
Well, I hope he's ready to go somewhere else where people are probably going to boo him for cheating. So,
Probably.
Wait a minute. Did you say he stays in Houston, or did you say he stays in Texas? Because I think he stays in Texas, but I don't think he stays in Houston.
Some Rangers, huh?
Baltimore.
I see 2 re-signs. I see Seeger and Baez re-signing with their teams. I see Story as a Yankee. Correa, I don't know.
I would love to say Baez is going to re-sign, but they've already made him an offer and he turned it down. I'm very concerned that he's not going to stay. So,
okay.
I want him to. I really do, but
I think if Baez leaves, he's the most likely one to go to the Yankees.
Think he's the most likely? Okay.
God, I don't know where I don't know if I have a place where he could go. Like, I just don't know. I don't even have a guess. I mean, the Yankees is the easy answer, but if they get Trevor Story at the deadline, it won't matter. So, 28 years old, the Yankees are going to hold on to him. They're going to pull a Tulowitzki 2.0 over here, where they just keep him and he's going to get hurt every other week and then he'll be irrelevant and he's just going to fade from existence. But right. I do not want Baez to have that fate. But I honestly don't have a guess on where Baez would go if he doesn't go to the Cubs. I wish I did, but
I know this since the Twins only have Andrelton Simmons signed through this season. They will be in the market for a shortstop next season. But yeah, that still won't trade anybody, I suppose.
I actually had a Braves fan of mine tell me he heard rumor that the Braves may trade Dansby Swanson and a couple of their pitching prospects. Now, this was before his injury and before the Soroka deal, where they said he probably not coming back this year, where you could see a couple of those pitching prospects and Dansby going to Colorado for Trevor Story.
Okay.
God, I don't see that making sense. You've already got enough power. You need. I mean, I guess Story, to be fair, Story does play good defense, but he's older than Swanson, isn't he?
That I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
Well, then,
by a year or two, I believe.
Why would you trade?
28 and 26 or something.
I don't think Dansby Swanson would require such a high contract like Trevor Story would. Trevor Story is definitely the more rounded player, but i.e. he steals more bags than Dansby does. I don't have their defensive metrics, but I would like to say that Trevor Story does play better defense. Power, you would give that to Trevor Story. Ability to make contact, I don't know who you'd give that to, but I just don't. That trade doesn't make sense to me, in a way.
Like I said, a Braves fan mentioned it to me. I thought it was an interesting rumor, but I don't see anything on it either. But
yeah, I guess it's just speculation. I guess we can just chalk that up to speculation for sure.
Yeah, it's always fun to do. More of it in July, of course, as the deadline gets closer.
Boy, that's going to be a hot time. We're going to be running ourselves ragged, man, with our franchises, and then everybody else's franchise running, and then trade deadline, and summertime, and can't wait. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, I see we are starting to run short on time, but I wanted to mention...
Baez, baby! Sorry.
Saw this tweet from Cespedes Family Barbecue on Twitter, Cespedes Barbecue.
Love that.
Guys, we have had the 20,000th player in Major League Baseball history appear in the form of Jose Godoy. He spent 9 years with the Cardinals system, reaching AAA in 2019, elected free agency in 20, and the Seattle Mariners have called him up. He becomes the 20,000th player in MLB history. He's a backup catcher, of course.
20,000. Holy crap.
I can't believe we're only there. I thought we would be way beyond that by now. What do you guys think?
You gotta remember for the longest time there were a lot less teams.
Oh, that's true too. That's a good
Smaller
point.
rosters too, right?
Smaller rosters.
By one.
Oh, by one. Okay, it's not really
they were
enough
always
to make.
25.
Yeah. How long has the 25? So 25 men been around quite a long time. Yeah, probably.
25. I'm pretty sure it's 25 men. As long as I can remember.
Yeah, probably since the 60s.
20,000. That kid should get a rule, like some kind of plaque for that.
Yeah,
like legit.
I
That's
don't
just
know.
something to
Trading
tell people.
card.
You know?
Give him a meeting with Tony La Russa.
Speaking of trading cards,
He gets
you guys
37 seconds.
Are you guys into baseball cards at all?
I must admit, I'm starting to get into them again.
Did you see the Honus Wagner card that sold for $3.75 million?
Time to go get some cards. Time to go beat people up for baseball cards.
I'm going to take your lunch money, then your baseball cards.
I want to take your Honus Wagner card. No! Take my life, but don't take my card.
All I know is, I always collected baseball cards, more so as a kid. I do a little bit even now, but I always love the stories about, especially my mother saying how my uncles used to just put cards in their spokes.
Bicycle spokes.
Spokes of their bikes because they didn't realize.
I did that. I remember doing that.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I have baseball cards right behind me, but I honestly don't know who I have. It's something that I've had since I lived in an old house when I was younger, so I couldn't even tell you one card I have in there. I could have a Wagner card in there and I wouldn't know it. I'm just being honest.
Stop.
I mean, it's possible. Till I go look at them, it's possible. No, it's I'm getting back into that. I'm starting to join the train of people like getting baseball cards and then opening them on streams and stuff. I'm like, I used to hate that so much, but I'm just like, it looks fun now, It honestly looks fun.
I started to do it with my son a little bit, but then we quit. Got to get back into it.
All right, what else we got here? We are running low on time.
Yeah.
What we got?
But we're about there, aren't we? I don't know. Anything else of pressing importance?
Let's quickly talk about the 2 no-hitters that happened this week.
The 2 no-hitters. Thank you.
They happened back-to-back days, Tuesday and Wednesday, correct?
Yep.
We had the one on Tuesday was probably the one that, well, I'm not going to make an Alex Trebek joke, but the one that I don't think any game show host could have saw coming. Spencer Turnbull for the Tigers pitching a no-hitter.
A guy that had 19 losses in 2019.
That's all, huh?
Spencer Turnbull.
19 losses? But, boy, he looked like an ace today. I wonder if he cheated. Full game, no hits, 2 walks, so it wasn't a perfect game. It's just a no-hitter. He did have 9 strikeouts. And, good for him, first of all. But, I think we ought to put an asterisk next to it because he did it against the Mariners that have a 198 team batting average. So, take that however you want. That happened on Tuesday. Tigers won that game 5-0. Game literally the next day. Rangers and Yankees. Dear God, the Rangers are just getting picked on. Corey Kluber, who already had a no-hitter with the Cleveland Indians, now has another one under his belt.
No, he did not.
Did he not?
He did not. They said that in the Yankee postgame that this was his first
I
career.
thought he had one.
No, he did not.
I'm mistaken.
I told you that in the stream, too.
Oh, you did? You might have. Okay, well,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nope, you got to call me out when I say something stupid, which is often. But, thank you. Yeah, okay, so I'm wrong. I thought he did, but I guess he didn't. So if they said he didn't, then he didn't. But he did here. Full game, no runs, 1 walk, so once again, not a perfect game. 9 strikeouts. Very similar, man. Even their ERAs are similar. Corey Kluber at a 2.86 and Turnbull has a 2.88. So, very, very odd, creepy, similar games here. Yankees won that one 2-0. So, to answer your question from last week, Charm, I think you asked it last week. Will we break the single season no-hitter record?
We got 1 more to tie, 2 to break.
Yes. All right.
And we're on pace for 23 at this point this season, guys. So just so you know.
So, bonus question: who do you guys think would throw the next no hitter? You don't have to say against who, but pitching wise, who do you think will do it?
Max Fried.
Ooh,
All right.
that's out there. That's an out there guess. I like that one.
I'll say Sandy Alcantara.
That's a good one. I'm really going to go out on a limb and say Adam Wainwright.
All right.
He looks so good.
Is he throwing one now and you're cheating and he's like in the 7th inning?
He did go 8 innings tonight, so he looked good. He honestly looks good for a 39-year-old pitcher. I know I joked about Rich Hill possibly has the ability to throw one, but I don't think he's got enough durability, so to speak, to go anymore. Of course, you could always look at Jacob deGrom. You could always look at Max Scherzer. You could always look at those guys that you could easily say, oh, yeah, they could do it.
But it's funny. Those are the guys. Those are almost never the guys that do it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, who would have thought Spencer Turnbull would throw a no-hitter this year?
Or Philip Humber back in 2012.
Yeah.
Philip Humber, perfect game. That's insane.
I think someone brought up to me today that, what was it, 6 or 7 innings? Urias had one going.
You're right. Yeah, he was through, 7 before he gave up something?
I think
today?
So.
I still stand by, and I know you and I talked about this, Amos. I still stand by. I don't blame the quote unquote dead and ball. I think there's a fundamental issue with how batting coaches and hitters are going about hitting.
The analytics part of it?
Yeah, I think it's they're too focused on those 3 main outcomes: strikeout, walk, or home run. Nobody actually tries to hit a double anymore. Nobody tries to just hit a single anymore.
All right, one more fact for you guys. Did you see the fact about Kyle Seeger of the Mariners?
Oh, I did. Go ahead.
After that loss, to Turnbull, that was the 9th no-hitter that Kyle Seeger has participated in on either side.
Well, here's an
like 2 with Felix, I think, maybe, or
Oh,
I don't know.
my Lord.
All the stats
Here's
are
an
on
interesting one for
9
you.
no-hitters have been a part of.
Of the 6 no-hitters that Major League Baseball recognizes, they're against 3 teams. 2 with the Indians, 2 with the Rangers, and 2 with the Mariners. So, which one of those 3 teams is more likely to get no-hit a third time?
Oh, Mariners.
It's going to be Cleveland. It's got to be Cleveland.
It's got to be Mariners.
I'll go Seattle.
You're going to go Seattle too? Okay.
It's got to be Mariners. Or it could be the Braves. Braves are probably going to no-hit. Just to throw a loop and everything. Let's just say the Braves are going to get no-hit.
If somebody no-hits the Braves, they will earn that no-hitter with that lineup.
If the Braves get no-hit by the Pittsburgh Pirates, I will get a tattoo of a Pirates logo right here.
You're going to get a tattoo of a Pirates logo where? I can't see.
Right here on my arm.
Okay.
There's a reason you can't see me right now, Amish. Oh, Lord.
Ripped over all your face. What?
Well, I have a feeling we went way over the 37 seconds we were allowed to go for. But, so is there anything else, closing thoughts, wise questions, something that you guys want to bring up?
This has been a fun 3-way conversation, I must say. I look forward to doing this again next week. This is great.
Just remember,
and trying to
you
think.
guide, I'll lead.
That's the official motto of the Hot Takes Corner, whatever we call this show. You guide, I'll lead.
Change the name of the show, right?
That's the official motto. I need to go back to last week's episode and figure out just to be sure what that was, because that was way too great. That was way too great. Charm, you may have come up with the best line. Oh, my goodness. Anyway. All right. So, no more closing thoughts. I got nothing besides what we talked about.
Have a great week. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Be safe.
Yes. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Enjoy the NBA playoffs if you're watching that.
So, because of the holiday weekend, are we doing a show next week?
Well, it's up to you guys, but I'm game next Sunday night. So.
Yeah. If you guys are free, I'm free. So.
All right.
I should
I'll
be
here.
anyway. If I'm not, we find a replacement. So, regardless, we should have a show, unless we just don't want to.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just being
I
honest.
want to.
Because we don't want to.
I'm always game.
So, all right.
Amos knows more than anybody. I got nothing going on. I got nothing going on besides this right now.
Well, we're glad you're spending your time with us, Charm. I think you've been a wonderful
Yeah,
addition.
jeez. It's fun.
No, I didn't mean that in a negative way. Amos knows what my apologies. I didn't mean that in a negative way at all.
No, you didn't. Heck no.
Just towards yourself is what I was worried about.
I'm just glad that you were, you're spending more time with us here on the show to provide some more insight. Because, I know Amish and I can bounce good off each other, but you add that third side to this triangle, more angles to bounce stuff off of. So, I don't know. I'm not good at math.
The facts that he's been putting in tonight has been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I wish you had been. I wish you had been there last week because we talked a lot of Moneyball. We talked a lot of Oakland.
Oh man, we'll have to do it again then. I'll tell you.
I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure we will be. I'm sure we will be revisiting the Oakland relocation topic in the future.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It'll be fun.
All right. That does it for us tonight. Charm. Thank you.
No problem.
Amish. Thank you.
As always, sir.
Myself. You got 37
you.
seconds. No, appreciate you guys hanging out in chat that interacted, asked some questions. We'll be back next week. Have a nice, if we don't, well, wait, when's Memorial Day?
What was that line?
Just drew
What was
a
that
blank.
line from the? What was that line from the movie Speed? Pop quiz, hot shot. You got 37 seconds. What do you do?
Anyway,
Yeah, don't let the bus get above 37 miles per hour.
37.
we're out for the night. Everyone enjoy your baseball week, and we will see you next week for more hot takes, guaranteed. I don't have anything this week. I'm sorry. So, everybody, bye.
See ya.